Hello, my name's Tim Gomez, and this is another episode, I'll say, Tim talking to himself, because it is still. But anyway, really wanted to say something today. It's been a beautiful few days, and it is about, for me personally, keeping that momentum in myself, because to express this in this way and to build it more into my days is for me a way of raising that vibration, of keeping that ceiling fan going, of bringing out my better self, higher self. I am determined, and that determination brings a sense of joy, which leads directly to gratitude. And so I'm going to start recalling, in a sense, an epiphany, a realization I had, when was it, about 8 months ago or something, 8 or 9 months ago, where what I realized is to come from the place that I want to come from. I found myself expressing it in quite a simple way, which was, if I say I love, and I mean it sincerely and genuinely for myself, when I say that and the love I'm talking about is infinite, then I increase my chances of coming from that place. If I'm genuine, if I'm authentic, I increase, just by that statement alone, I increase my chances of coming from the right place, which I must. So I realised, well, that's good. That's going to increase my chances, which, being infinite, increases it, I hope, by quite a lot. And then again, being infinite and understanding the nature of what we all are, then what I say to one, I say to all. And what I say to all, I say to one. Because we are all truly an expression, when we're coming from that place, we're an expression of the same source, of the infinite. And it's only through that heart space that can be expressed. The mind expresses it all completely different. Like synthetic imagination and creative imagination. Throughout history, the greatest music, the greatest poetry, the greatest art, all of it has come from that place, and that's why it endures, and that's why it touches another part of us. And that's how I want to express myself. And of course, it's a learning. Stumble along the way, but you keep going. And I've got to build that courage in me to keep expressing and to keep going. So, today is the 16th of June, and I've got a poem, because I'm really enjoying doing the poems. I started this one yesterday on the 15th and continued it and finished it just an hour ago. So, another poem to one and all, isn't it? Say to one, say to all. But it is to a certain someone anyway. But so, Magician Through the Mirror, love story. Guess what? It did it again. Truly this existence is beyond my ken. I saw you and dared to hope about the how and the when. Now it has all turned upside down again. When I thought of you as the wild bird, when I knew you in my dreams, as my mind said it was absurd, when I saw you in silence, I knew it was true, that I could certainly get through to you. The you that you are, the you that is in me, is most definitely greater than even a tree. Because you see, I now know something that is plain to me. I am the wild bird, and you are the wood. I am the one that seeks for the crumb. I am the one that is aware of more. I am the one that can alight on that shore. And you are the air that removes my care. You are the sky under which I lie. You are the one I seek, in whose heart I have taken a peek. And just like that bird, I flutter around, searching for hints and jumping at a sound, unaware that you are always right there, unaware that I can live beyond care. To care about this is to share in this. To share in this is to realize bliss. All I want is a kiss, yet you to me are all that is. Is this possible, my bird brain would ask? Am I really up to this task? To turn all understanding upside down once more is really the only way to reach any shore. To know you more, the one I adore, truly defies every single law. You see, I have always been sure that in your embrace I would know so much more. From the moment I saw you, my world exploded, even if I appeared that I had imploded. I knew straight away I just wanted to play, just find any which way to say. Say what my heart knew, as all seemed to doubt. Say what every cell wanted to shout. Say that this wild bird knows what it is all about. About this poem that has been split by one night. About this poem that has helped me gain my sight. I was with you once more. Oh bliss, oh delight. You came to my dream and held me so tight. We hugged and played. With an angel's help I stayed. Stayed in the bed with you. The details shall remain unsaid, as I think my face would now turn red. Red is the energy now in me, excited by my divine fantasy. I feel this poem can now soar higher, up and up above any church spire. Into the sky on wings of love, this wild bird is now a dove. My limited sight, removed by the second, my perspective opens up. To see you as a little wild bird stopped me seeing just how much there is above. You are beyond magnificent. You are all that there is. You are Lakshmi, you are Sita, you are Mary. I have always wanted to meet her. Her, that is the point. That is the energy that can anoint. The woman, the lady, the girl and the baby. This is what I saw in you and just went crazy. Crazy and locked up, hazy and blocked up. I was living only with a part of me. I was yet to open up to the true divine fantasy. This fantasy that you unlocked for me, the true love I was certain only resided in thee. Yet you have made me see that what makes you so special also lives in me. In me where I found you, in me where I am. My goodness, I will never say again that I am just a man. I open my awareness with a leap and a bound. Truly, my love, you are all around. All around my heart, all around my head, all around anything I have ever said. All around this place, all around my face. My face that will now make your heart race. Faster and faster as I raise myself up. Faster and faster as I approach your cup. The cup, the chalice, the grail beyond all malice. I must think of a gift. I must make this shift. What do you like, my lady of delight? You who has the truest insight. I could get you some fruit. I could buy you a lute. I could find a nice piece of granite. No, I will buy you a planet. Venus is nice, a little cooler at night. Mars, it is true, would look great on you. Jupiter is sweet, I will lay it at your feet. Perhaps the moon is best as a first treat. Or Pleiades has some gems. We could go for some trips. I'm sure all is possible if I could just kiss your lips. So to sum up and wrap up this poem, calm myself down as I tie the bow, breathe the last words and pray that they show, pray that they convey that which I now know. Know that I quite like you, know that I care. Know now, fair maiden, I want to get out of my lair. Know that I can stand, know I'm here. Show me your hand, there is nothing to fear. One tiny point, as perhaps I got a bit boasty, it might be a good idea to just start with that toasty. I'm really enjoying those poems, I have to admit. It's such a... And that is just the thing of creativity, isn't it? That you get to say things in another way. That I guess in listening, I've certainly learned in listening to what I listen to, that a person coming from their heart, it doesn't fill the brain, the mind sort of gets mixed up with it in a sense. And that's good because it goes somewhere else. It evokes understanding, it evokes a sort of multi-level approach, which is absolutely crucial. And without getting too into the dynamics of that, if you like, because that's for every one of us own personal, unique understanding. Just like the experience, of each person having their own experience is so important. Which is why it's always been pointed out to me to not point out the very experience, to not go into it because you affect another's experience. But that expression we can all have, and I'm so happy to start finding, if you like. I realise I used to sort of do it through the shows and juggling work without really knowing it. That I was coming from a place of presence, a place of creativity that I almost took for granted in a way. And now I realise, now I've lost it, if you like, I realise, no, it takes that effort. And I want to make that effort. I want to write my story, the story of my life. And we all have that story to write for ourselves. But what is so beautiful is that we're living through a time, a change of epoch. There's no doubt about it. This time was prophesied thousands of years. So yes, we have our stories, personal stories, but they are entwining as more and more and more people are aligning with that expression. We're just naturally finding, because of our nature, that our stories are going to join. They are joining. I feel there's many who are not listening to me, that are, it's not ahead on this, but they're at a different stage in their development, their life, and they must be watching me having a bit of a laugh. And that's great. Understanding comes through a lifetime, and we all have, our soul's path is unique and must be unique. But as I've stated before, I'm not being left out of this beautiful story. And it takes that effort. You get yourself into doubts, and you can lower your vibration. You get into the lower vibrations, the dramas of your life increase. And suddenly that dream can seem so far away. You know, heaven and hell is right here. That when you are coming from that place, and suddenly you have just a glimpse of clarity, and you get gratitude and you get peace, that's heaven. And that is where I want to stay more and more and more. And that takes my awareness, takes me being present in the present moment. And it's so easy to allow, if you don't set your boundaries, if you like, and you allow to be taken into those lower vibrations. Or you simply watch the news and get all freaked out, you know. I've always kind of avoided that, but it's just as easy to be taken away from that clarity. And I see us going through this. It's a healing time. Like I say, we are going into a new reality, if that's what you want. There's a new change here that has never happened before on this scale. It is literally the raising of an entire planet. And you have to resonate with that to join it in the simplest of ways. And that healing is individual. We're all, I'm sure, experiencing it. And it's collective. You know, there are things that have gone on for thousands of years, really, that have affected the most fundamental balance, which is the male-female. The female, in these thousands of years, has been subjected to, in my opinion, some of the worst treatment. And the male has dominated society. You can't suddenly change that, although bloody good if you could. But it will take this understanding in us all to begin to have that compassion, to be authentic, and to begin, that can be balanced. And it needs to be, and then it will be more gentle. There needs to be that recognition of the value of the man, the woman, those aspects within each of us as well, and also between the age groups. You know, children deserve the utmost respect. The elders deserve the utmost respect. You know, it used to be, stories were so important throughout history. Stories have conveyed wisdom, knowledge, values, morals in such a beautiful way. You know, in communities and tribes, the elders, they had that wisdom and they passed it to the young by word of mouth, not by movies and everything. By word of mouth, and that wisdom was passed directly to the children. And they took it in. Imagine that, how beautiful that was. And that's a lost art. I think those stories are still out there, and it would be wonderful, you know, to have those stories told again. That all across the planet, that the schools get filled, have a story time. You know, just imagine how wonderful, you know, old people's homes in the West here, old people sitting there not sure what to do, kids not sure what to do. It's like join that together and have stories. It would enliven the adults and it would enliven the children. It would pass on those beautiful stories, you know, and it would get the imagination going. How beautiful. That would be a wonderful way of passing on knowledge. Because it would absolutely come from the heart. I used to love stories as a kid, you know, when they're told, it's a whole nother ball game. And that healing would just naturally take place. There would be that unfolding of wisdom, that connection. Just that would be a healing, and it would enliven people that in a lot of cases have lost that energy. It would come so simply just from the energy of the kids coming to those homes. It would be beautiful. Truly would. So, what else? This is great, I can say. Not what comes to mind, comes to my heart. And I want to say, well, it's like this is a great way of messing around a bit and getting to know each other, or me getting to know myself, I guess. I mean, believe me, I think I'm the only one that watches this clearly, and that, if that truly is the case, I guess did bang my head a bit too hard back then. But I sincerely hope, and I'm pretty certain, that someone, especially a certain someone, you see this, don't you? Don't you? If I'm just going mad and just watching this myself, I mean, it's doing me good. I tell you, it's doing me loads of good. So I'm still in Cornwall, still in the woods, but I've had a really big kind of shift in my understanding, if you like. It's turned it on its head, like I was waiting for that wild bird. And then suddenly look at it in the aspect, if I'm the wild bird, and in a sense, searching for the infinite on the outside, inside, my perspective just suddenly went boom. It's like, oh crikey, if I'm the little wild bird, then it really is that, oh, how wonderful to view it like that anyway. Because it opens your awareness, opened my awareness. And I had some lovely dream in the night, which referred to in the poem. And that was every time. There have been so many dreams of you and so many others. I mean, I've had the most incredible dream life this whole last however long. And I just love it. Look forward to it. And the experiences that follow often absolutely blow me away, the potential of what we are. And I'm in my story, and I want to be an active part of that story. I want to learn to have that courage to know that these efforts of mine do have an effect on my future without building expectation, but that I know that it's entwining me with my future story inevitably, and to trust in what you can't see, and yet I've known was such a strong part of me all along. I know there's this incredible oasis. It's like it has been like going across the desert at times, but I feel like I'm on the, got past a few mirages, and then I've reached the oasis, and now I'm walking through the trees in fresh wonder, realizing it's okay. I've made it. And the water and the shelter will be just up ahead. And it's brought a calmness in me that I've longed for, that my heart's longed for. This calmness, and a bit like that perspective change. Suddenly the heart goes, boom, I'm on top. I'm driving your chariot now. I've actively tried to hand over the reins of the chariot of my life. That if you're not careful, you can have the wrong parts driving that chariot, holding those reins, throwing the weapons. If that driver of that chariot is your opinions and judgments and anger, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. And all my life I've managed not to let that too much, but then it's your doubts and fears perhaps, and you're trying to get off the trail. And I've actively asked my heart to step forward and be the driver of my chariot now, the chariot of my life. And to know when that is the case, that you can see it in your feelings, very much. How a thing makes you feel. If it makes you feel good, then hey, you're onto a good one for a bit. Throughout a lot of life, it's easy, like I said before, dealing with emotions and all that. Unprocessed emotions, someone has pointed out to me. And it's like, well, crikey, how do you process emotions? Like I say, I'm a guy, You ladies, you process them a lot. But as a guy, I was journaling, I do a journal a lot. And of course, simple. It's recognizing them, acknowledging them, and literally seeing how they make you feel, almost physically. And then, of course, through advice, that you then use that ability of unconditional love on yourself, on all those aspects. This healing work, if you like, is just that, healing your wounds that have come over a lifetime, being pointed out over many lifetimes. And I believe that's what we're doing collectively, individually and collectively. We're healing the collective. And it's very important that the part that gets healed, both in men and women, and the division between man and woman in the outer world, is an absolute essential part of that healing work, that alchemy. And for guys, that's, acknowledging that a bit more, which is it's a big one. For a lot of guys, this isn't easy stuff. And for women to step forward into that more confident step forward. And that's part of their healing. And then between us, I pray on a planetary level that I wish it could be done like that, but over some time, but every effort is good, that we will literally begin to heal that. And we can become more and more in tune. And actually start to recognize that it is possible to heal that within small systems, within family units. And then on larger scale, we are limitless. We have this opportunity, and I'm not missing it. So I'll keep doing these things that no one's talking to me. Quite tempted to put my phone number up. see if I get any calls. But I guess that's a little bit not asked for. I've been kept in this locked door situation, or is that just my perspective? There's a reason. I've understood it deeply. I needed to go through all these lessons. And I'd like to say that feeling pretty good. So if anyone got that sunflower card, I believe the number was on there. But hey, no pressure. But you know, I'm a guy. I'm going to keep trying to find some new ways. I'm quite enjoying the poem. Anyway, look, it's been wonderful talking to myself again, and to all those people I'm not talking to. I hope and pray, that hearts really start to open, and this is my way of connecting with you and you with me, like that epiphany of, if I'm coming from the right place and I mean it sincerely, then it will be. Thank you.